Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So first of all, chosen, I want to talk to you all about the fact that many of you, most of you, will be the first millionaire in your family. Most of you will be the first millionaire, multi-millionaire in your family. The reason why you are receiving such a strong position of wealth is because you have inherited the gifts of your lineage. You've inherited the gift of creativity, the gift of wisdom, the gift of healing, the gift of divinity. You've inherited the ability to access your Akashic records and to activate your royalty DNA. You've inherited these things because you have earned them. Because the tables are turning, in the past, when we're looking at the age of Pisces, where you had a lot of people who received wealth, but through underhanded means, right? Through very wicked, underhanded means, they became very rich, very wealthy, very powerful here in the 3D. And many of the chosen were on the other end of that scale in the energy of poverty and lack. Okay? But now, the tables have turned. Okay? We are now looking on the other side of the coin here. And so those who gain their wealth through wickedness now fall into poverty. And those of you who have operated from integrity now rise into wealth. This is a natural balancing of scales that has been long overdue. And so for the chosen seed out there, you have earned the wealth of your lineage. And again, it goes well beyond the material wealth, but you will see the material wealth here in this lifetime. Because those natural creative gifts, you did not shun them. See, that's the problem with a lot of other people, other beings, karmic family members. They get jealous of you because you get the wealth and they don't. But the reason why you get the wealth is because you're bold enough to do those things that those karmics were not bold enough to do. Now, they're bold enough to operate in wickedness. They're bold enough to work against people and to harm people, but not bold enough to heal. Not bold enough to go into hermit mode, not bold enough to stand out and to be different and to color outside of the lines, to be the rebel. They're not bold enough to be a healer, to move away from, I'm going to just give you examples, moving away from Western medicine and going back to your roots, working with herbs. They're not bold enough to move away from the religious structure and take the spiritual path, the narrow path. Many of them are not bold enough to remove themselves from the political, structure and say, no, I vote for myself. Okay? I'm the judge and the jury. I am the law. So because you chosen were bold enough, and it's not just because you was bold enough, it's because you was crafted and molded for this path. But a lot of people don't understand that. They don't get that the Most High literally chose you for this path. And so because you boldly take the path and you persevere in spite of all the obstacles that your ops throw in your way, because they throw them obstacles in your pathway. Trust and believe that, because they're jealous that they're not built to take the path. But because you have remained with the energy of faith and courage and strength, you get what's at the end. And what's at the end of that is a ripened harvest that has been nurtured through your perseverance, through your healing, through your love, your compassion, okay? Through your creativity. On the other side of that is a great harvest, an overflow harvest that could last for generations to come because it goes beyond the material. And so this is where you want to really evaluate. Are you still taking a journey? Are you still remaining steadfast on your path? The reason why I say most of you will become millionaires and not all of you is because there's going to be some that tap out. There will be a few that tap out. And it's mainly because this is not for the weak. This journey is not for the weak. This journey is for those of you who understand that as long as you maintain that connection to the Most High Mother and Father and work directly with your spiritual team, you can overcome anything that you experience in the natural realm. But it really does take a different build of a person to overcome those things, because there will be a lot of illusions cast before you on this pathway. A lot of illusions, the illusion of poverty, the illusion of not having a support system, the illusion of not having, trustworthy people around you, the illusion of not being good enough or not being smart enough, the illusion of not being, driven enough. I mean, it's going to be so many different illusions that will be cast before you here in the 3D realm that you really have to know how to discern. Is this a trick of the hand? Should I take this personally? Do I allow this to cause me to double back and to go back down the wide path because over there's more people, there's, it's less challenging. Okay. It's more acceptable. It's more accepted by society. Not a lot. Some, there will be a few chosen seeds who will tap out. And because they don't end up completing the mission, which is to push through that stage of the illusions. I believe it was, let me see, I think that movie was Snow White, if I'm not mistaken, where she ran out into the wilderness. The wicked witch set out to kill her. She put a hit out on Snow White. Her wicked witch stepmother put a hit out on her because she left. And Snow White ran out into the wilderness. When she got into the wilderness, it was a very scary place because she had never been there before. Like, she had always been in the palace, very sheltered. And so when she ran out into the wilderness, she started to see like the trees turn into like monsters, and the animals look like, a bunch of demons chasing her, and like everything just looked so scary. But that was the illusion. Because when you get on the pathway of spirituality, it's so unfamiliar. And so many things that you're not used to connecting to begins to, it gets revealed to you. So you're taking the spiritual journey and suddenly you're more tapped in to the spiritual realm. You start to see things, you start to hear things, you start to feel things. And it's like, hold up. What is this? This is way too uncomfortable. It's way too unfamiliar. So Snow White could have turned back around and said, you know what? I'm going back to the palace. I'm going back to the palace, even though it was miserable there, right? Even though she was surrounded by a karmic family, a karmic stepmother who just wanted to siphon her energy. She could have turned back around and went back to that because it was routine. It was something that she was used to. But the wilderness, you got to be built different to go into the wilderness. And that's the narrow path for the chosen. But later on down the line, Snow White discovered that it actually wasn't scary at all. That's when she began to connect with the animals, connect with the trees, connect with nature. And that's where she realized she actually found herself there. She found herself again there. She found her strength there. So that's a large part of the journey for the chosen. You get ran out into the wilderness. And a lot of times you don't know where you're headed. You don't know where this thing is taking you. You know, you can't see the forest before the trees. It's like you're in it, so you can't really see what's going on. And so you have to navigate with your spiritual eyes. You got to listen through your spiritual ears. You got to feel your way through with that spiritual navigation system, working alongside the Most High and your spiritual team. And for some people, the journey can seem long if you're focused on timing, if you're focused on, when is it going to be over with? But if you stay in the moment, if you stay in the now, and find gratitude in the present moment, find gratitude in the fact that you was chosen for this pathway, find gratitude in the fact that you are protected on your journey. In spite of what you see, in spite of the illusions cast before you, you are protected on your journey. When you accept that and embrace that, it becomes a very, very beautiful journey. And you discover a lot of creative gifts. You discover a lot of things about yourself and about the world that you live in, the spiritual realm, the physical realm. You discover the truth about the people that's been around you. You discover your purpose there. And once you discover it, then you start to put forth the practical efforts, because see, in the wilderness, you have every tool that you need. And this is why many of the chosen seed, you end up gravitating towards things that are connected to nature. A lot of times your purpose is connected to something that deals with nature. And, for instance, those of you who are gravitated towards working with herbs, making butters, oils, tinctures, healing, working with the elements, you end up gravitating towards those things because in the wilderness, you learn how to use them. Even if you don't use them for others, it becomes a strong tool for yourself, because in the wilderness, it is readily available to you. It's just a matter of, hey, you're going to be afraid to find out what that berry means? You're going to be afraid to find out what that herb is used for? No, in the wilderness, you got to find out, because, see, you don't have all of the things that society has placed in front of you. The carbon copies, the copycats, but those things is inauthentic, right? Society hands you the inauthentic, watered down version of what nature truly provides. So when you're in the wilderness and you don't have all of those things presented to you, you got to find other ways to connect and to heal yourself, right? That's what the hermit mode is all about. When you're taking the narrow path spiritually, you find ways to heal yourself. You don't seek outside of yourself. You connect to those things that are organically rooted. Nature becomes your best friend. So I say all of this to say, stay on the path chosen. Do not get deterred. Don't double back. Don't be afraid of what this journey entails. Because if you continue down the pathway and you start to use those tools that's provided for you in the wilderness, you will find that on the other side of that journey is lots of abundance, lots of wealth, so many different creative ideas, but you're also handed every tool that you need in order to bring them into fruition. You will see wealth and millionaire status in this lifetime if you stay on the journey, because now is the balancing of scales. So the wealth is being handed over to the rightful owners. So just make sure that you stay in alignment and stay prepared and ready to receive it, but also continue to put forth the practical effort, both spiritually and physically, to ensure that you're on the right vibration when the time does come. So that's my message for you all. I love you. I hope that it brought you some clarity. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this. If you believe that you have stayed on the pathway and that you yourself are to be the first millionaire of your family, let us know if that's you. Say, that's me. I claim it. And the reason why you can guarantee it is because you will not be deterred off of your path. That's my message for you all. Like, subscribe. I'll talk to y'all next time.